Your Comedy Minute. I'm Scotty T. I've got a fantastic comedian named Donna Lloyd with me today. Donna, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Scott. I'm really excited about this. Thank you.
It's my pleasure, Donna. Now let's start. You're in New Jersey, right?
I am in New Jersey. I'm at the Jersey Shore.
Okay. Were you born and raised in New Jersey?
I was born a little
Okay.
bit north in Bloomfield, and then
Okay.
we moved down here when I was a baby, and I've been down
Okay.
here since I was, close to two.
Well, and I've watched some of your bits. There's some requirements to live on the Jersey Shore.
There are there are some requirements.
I didn't know about those until I watched your videos today.
Oh, thank you. I like to give people a guide, to the Jersey
Yeah.
Shore.
I mean, I'm
Be-
familiar with, I've been all over Jersey, but go ahead. Tell the people the requirements if to come there.
Oh, well,
Or I
we
guess
want.
live there. You have to have these to live there.
Well, listen, I'm at the Jersey Shore and I'm half Italian. My
Right.
boyfriend's half Italian. Together we make one full neurotic person. But
Okay.
my mom is all Italian. She's happy. But there is a sense that there's a large Italian community here at the Jersey
Right.
Shore. But we have a big melting pot, especially here.
Right.
I don't want to say exactly where I'm at, but we have a big melting pot. And it's great.
No,
We have
no. Be sure to
the
give your address and your phone number. Hold up your credit cards. Jesus God.
and don't forget my social security number.
Yeah, yeah. Hold up pictures of your kids yet.
Oh,
All
thankfully I
right.
don't. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot of different cultures around here. We want people to
Right.
get along down here at the shore. Um, we have, so when you come down here and you hear lovers on the beach, like,
Right.
hey, Marie, get my suntan lotion out of the car, will you? And she's like, what the fuck I look like? Your mother? Get it yourself. Just you have to know we're very happy to have people from Staten Island visit us.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. And
keep going.
when people from Brooklyn come down, they're very excited to get parking. So they usually take two spaces with one car,
Okay.
But I mean, have you been to Brooklyn lately, Scott?
No.
I mean, they don't even have drug dealers on the street anymore. They just have dudes saving parking spaces, going, yo, I got a square for you right here. Compact only. So we get a lot of people. Get people from upstate New York. Are you from upstate at all? Upstate?
I've been all over. Keep going.
All right.
You're
Well,
on
they're
a
very
roll.
easy. They're
I'm
very
just
easy
sitting
to
here.
spot on the beach, down here. They're the ones cutting off their flannels and denims
Right.
into swimwear, playing frisbee with a cigarette, play more Leonard Skinner. But we
Play
get
for
along
Leonard Skinner.
here, get along down here at the shore, Scott. You know why? Because we have medical marijuana dispensaries.
You jumped ahead there. Let's save that one for a minute if we can.
All right.
Let's take a look. Let's pretend like I have some kind of puzzle. What's going on here?
Oh, you have a puzzle. Okay.
Well, it's not really.
I'm not an
I'm
enigma.
right. I'm sharp as a bowling ball.
I'm not like most women.
When did you start
I'm
doing
not.
comedy? When did you start doing comedy, Donna? I
I
mean,
start
I know the answer, but for all your fans and the viewers that tune in,
fans and viewers. Okay,
well, I mean, you have them, I don't, but
two people I will tell. Um, I started doing comedy in 2017,
okay.
and I started at Scotty's Comedy Cove in Springfield with Chip Ambrosio. He was a teacher.
Okay.
I really wasn't looking to do comedy. I had friends in the business for years. I was hanging around comedy clubs for decades in the 80s
Right.
and 90s till all the clubs closed down and it kind of went away.
Right.
And a friend of mine kind of just bugged me to go and do it. And so
Okay.
I took the class, and
Okay.
right out of the gate I started getting work. And then it was like about a year after that I went to an open mic.
Was that was it's kind of redundant, but the catalyst that made you decide to finally do it? You said you've been in clubs and there and finally what was there something that just triggered in
my
you or
my friend was just tired of me making my own jokes sitting at the bar and not
and not
being
doing it?
for it. She said we need to move you from the bar to the stage and you can get paid. And sure enough, 7.5 and 5 minutes later, she might be right.
Yeah. How about comedians that inspired you to start doing comedy?
Well, like I said, when I was younger, we had Rascals Comedy Club over here by us at the shore, and there was another one up in North Jersey. And it was cheaper than going to the movies, and we would go
Okay.
there once a week, and we would hang around, and afterwards we would hang around. And this is when Jim Norton was coming up and going, and
Norton, okay.
we saw Sam Kinison and
Sure.
Bobcat Goldthwait and Andrew Dice Clay and
Yeah.
a whole bunch of famous people. And I have a friend in the business, Richie Byrne.
Okay.
He was up and coming then, and he ended up doing the stuff for Dr. Oz, and he's still a good friend and a mentor to me.
Okay.
Um, so I just knew people in the business, but I had a theater background, okay, from high school, and I did some out of high school theater, and I did some B horror movie stuff.
Yeah,
But
I saw you have, I saw on IMDb, I think, right?
yeah, I did some, location finding. I like to do behind the scenes work. Even now,
Yeah.
I enjoy writing more than performing.
Okay. Oh,
Um,
really? Okay.
yeah, I like to. Even when acting, I was always wanted to do other stuff. I did understudy or whatever it was. Um,
Okay.
but I'm learning to love performing.
Yeah.
I love writing, and I love when my
Well,
joke. And I
let me just try and keep rolling if it's okay.
yeah,
What was that first show like?
the first show that I did at Scotty's,
First show you, yeah, that the first show that you did, what was that like?
like it was 6 weeks of class, and then on the seventh week, all your
Yeah, I
friends and
hear that
family
a
come.
lot.
It was like, wow, I'm doing this and I'm skiing. I'm like just jumped off of this thing, and I'm like, and people are laughing, and it was a huge high. And I think for a first time, I might have knocked it out of the park, because like I
Okay.
said, right after that, I started getting work, and it was different because I never went to an open mic. And that was the whole thing. My friend said, why don't you just go to open mic, and get up? And I was like, no, I need structure. I was theater back. I need structure.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's but the love of comedy came from a kid. My dad,
Right.
all the greats, all the silent films, Harold Lloyd
Okay.
and
Oh no,
uh,
I mean I
Buster.
grew up on, my parents actually, mine's more, it was Red Fox and Mom's Mabley and the Bickersons records, and then
Listen to all
Archie
the
Bunker and All in the Family, and all the Henny Youngman, Rodney Dangerfield, and that's the stuff I grew up on.
yeah. I think I had a huge, array of different comedians. It started
Excuse me.
with those. My dad was a lot older than my mom, and then after he had passed and stuff, and my mom and I would go to Rascals together, or we would sit around and watch Comedy Central when in
Right.
the '80s, when everybody was exploding. Ellen DeGeneres and
Yeah.
Robert Townsend and Paula Poundstone and all those guys, and Marsha Warfield, and I mean the list goes on and on. We would just sit there every night and watch them come out and become stars. My
Well,
first, if you can guess, my first live comedy concert, you'll win the Jersey Shore prize. I'll,
George
I
Carlin.
was a little after that, but big, big like
Okay,
that.
no, I actually had a
Rock,
conversation with George.
rock star big like that, but a little
Okay,
later.
just go ahead. Go ahead. My brain's a
I'm,
sewer.
I'm between baby boomer and Gen X.
We could be here for hours. My brain's a sewer hole.
My it's 1978 Steve Martin Cruel Shoes tour.
Oh wow, that's wild. I had that. I tell people
Right?
I had George Carlin Toledo window box on 8-track tape.
Wow. Wow.
But so now that's a nice segue there. I don't know that I planned that, but uh,
Okay.
George Carlin Toledo window box makes reference to marijuana. And you recently, I saw the Staten Island show. You talked about a dispensary. You went and just, you were just visiting, I think.
I was visiting.
I think. I don't know. I never inhale. I mean, I always inhale. No, I'm smoking the crack light now. I started the diet crack. That's what I'm smoking. That
I do
funny
not.
little and that funny little drinking problem I got. But no, talk about that marijuana dispensary. Maybe
Oh,
I'll
you
take
like?
a hit. I'll take a hit while you're telling the story.
Yeah, you like that story? Well, as I said, I was curious. And there's long lines around these things, right, Scott? I mean, I don't know if you've
Yeah.
been to one. There's long lines, and I'm standing in line.
There's one right up the road. Not that I know about it, but there's a marijuana dispensary right up the road.
It's right up the road. A lot of
Yeah,
them.
I've never been there.
Well,
I
there's
just
long lines.
drive by and see the lines.
Yeah, in
John
line.
Thornton lines.
For a while. I think the two guys in front of me must have known each other because the
Right.
one guy was like, Jersey Shore, he's like, "How you doing, dude?" And the other guy is like, "What's up, bro?" And then he's like, "How you doing, dude?" And he's like, "What's up, bro?" And that was 10-minute conversation. And then, the one guy was
It's in
trying
the
to convince.
conversation.
Now, listen, Scott, these kids were like young surfer kids, right? But
Yeah.
I'm older and I'm starting to hear a Cheech and Chong conversation in my head. Right? And the one guy's going, "Man, you better not smoke that stuff, man. Don't you know you got to get a job? They're going to like drug test you. That stuff stays in your system for like a month." And the other guy goes, "Nah, man, it don't stay in your system for no month. It's more like 30 days."
Right, right, right,
More
right.
like 30 days. I said, "Oh my God, I'll have whatever they're having."
Yeah.
You can't make this stuff up, man. You can't make this stuff
No,
up.
and you're right there. Another bit, and I don't know if you want to talk about it or not, but you about a bikini trimmer, about a bit about a bikini trimmer. Do you remember that?
Actually, I do remember that. That's part of my very first act. And if you
Is
go
it?
on,
Yeah, I went back. I mean, the crack staff, when I hear someone's coming on, I go back and like you said, I mean, these five, and you know what? Let's be serious. I'll be serious for a little bit. You have Instagram, you have a YouTube channel. I know you have Facebook. I don't know if you do have Instagram. You have a YouTube channel. That's why I went back and looked because you have some videos up from a long time ago, and I really enjoyed them.
well, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
Cheeseburger, the joke you're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, you just gave away the punchline. I
Did
set
I?
you up perfectly.
You set me up.
Jesus
Well, I can still tell.
God.
I can
Well,
still.
let's just move on.
Okay, move on. But yeah,
No,
that was
do you want to do
fine.
it or not? I like that. I like that bit.
Well, listen,
You
it's a
don't have to. Look,
no,
you're in
no, it's
charge. It's your comedy minute. I feel like I'm pissing you off.
no, totally not. No, no, I don't get mad. I don't get offended. I've been
Donna,
around.
you're in charge.
I'm like totally like okay, going with every direction. Cheeseburger, it was a joke that I did
I just loved it.
very first time out of the box. And I keep it and I still use it and we refer
Yeah.
to it as
Okay.
that. But yeah, I mean, basically my boyfriend's like, come home one day and he's the hairiest dude, I swear to God.
Yeah. See, because I thought about that. Your boyfriend's half Italian, and you talk
Yeah,
about the hairy, how hairy he is.
yeah, he's hairy. I'm telling you, every time he gets out of the shower, that soap looks like a baby rodent. I mean, last winter the soap saw its shadow and predicted an early spring, Scott.
Right. Right.
So the one day he comes home with a bikini trimmer for me, and he's like, "Honey, I saw this commercial where this women are shaving their little bushes into the shapes of hearts and diamonds, and I thought you could use this." So me being a comedian, I shaved mine into the shape of a cheeseburger. I mean, I said, "Honey, I'm just hoping you're going to eat there more often."
Yeah.
And Scott, I was going to shave it into the shape of a hot dog, but I didn't want to confuse the poor
Right.
guy.
Right. Right. Yeah. That's good thinking. That's good thinking.
Add fries and a drink, you got a happy meal. So that's that.
Okay. Well, let's try and keep this thing. I'm sorry I ran us off the track.
No,
I told you
I'm,
I'm
I'm,
dumb as a bucket of rocks.
I'm
Yeah,
following you.
we're on a hey, with me, it's like a roller coaster. You don't know what the hell's gonna hey, I'm like, hey, my mouth's like a magician's hat. You never know what the hell's gonna come out of it.
I'm more like
All right,
Canoe.
here we go.
All
Back on
right.
the track. Your favorite show so far, which is I know there's thousands, and then your least favorite show. And that's where the comedy gold is. So do your favorite show first.
The
Favorite
favorite show.
show out of all you no, no, not something you watched, something you performed, that you killed it and you were the opening act or whatever your favorite show is. And you can do a couple if there's a couple.
Okay. All right. I'll think about it. Um, my favorite show is all the shows that I get to perform with people that I enjoy performing with.
Okay.
Um, and to be specific, I guess my first show was one of my favorite shows, only because it's
Was it?
the
Okay.
first time and the most exhilarating high, and then you're always trying to chase that kind of high. So I
Right.
would say that was a great show.
Okay.
But I don't have any that like stick out that I could say are great. I probably only remember the really bad ones.
Okay, good, good. Okay, good. Man, you're my kind of guest. Give me a couple of those. I
You
love those.
what, the bad ones?
Oh my God, yes. I'm a sick idiot. Can I say it? I'm a sick asshole. I really am. I love, man. If you ever watch any of the videos, man, I got oodles of those. I love those.
Well, I mean, nothing bad like happened or anything, but not bad
Disappointed. You got
happened.
me all excited.
I remember when I bomb, like you build
Oh,
yourself up to something and you think it's gonna come out a certain way in your head, and then it just
oh
doesn't,
yeah,
you
sure.
know, have a whole audience of people kind of just staring at you. So I was right after I started doing my first year, and I had won a contest, and I had won to perform for and get a spot for Davin. And I don't know if you know him, but he was very funny. And
Okay.
another mentor and
What is
friend of mine,
it? Davin?
Davin Rosenblatt. Davin, he goes
Davin
just by.
Rosenblatt? Okay, we'll mention him. Oh,
Yeah,
hashtag Davin Rosenblatt when we air this.
yes, made him met him through Chip, my comedy teacher. So I
Okay.
won, and I wanted to impress the guy because I figured if I get this guest spot, he does some shows, he's going to give me some work. And I had watched him on a video, and I thought he was very funny, and so I
Okay.
was very wanted to impress him. But when I got there, it was like a room full of people. They were more than blue haired. They weren't getting the religious stuff that I did, and it kind of tanked really hard. However, I stayed in touch with him, and I hounded, and he has given me a lot of work actually, and I've
Yeah.
given him. I use him a little bit to polish and coach up and things like that. So I am
You know,
always trying to.
whenever I hear that blue hair, that it was playing to old real senior citizens room or whatever, my favorite line, and I'm going to give credit to him, actually going to catch up with him tomorrow, Corey Albert.
Okay.
Corey says, I thought I was a Life Alert salesman. Uh, I just so there you can just minimize it a whole bit. I thought I was a Life Alert salesman.
That's really funny.
Yeah,
That's really
it really is. Um, what what do you have coming up that or because you are busy? My gosh, I see a lot of shows on
uh,
Instagram and stuff. You're always doing shows.
thank you. I'm blessed. I'm really blessed that I think, listen, I had a sales background for 40 years in advertising. I think that my
Okay.
networking skills probably have helped me in this business quite a
Yeah.
bit. I try to remain humble and stick to the people that I admire and that I think that get work. I
Yeah.
do work clean. I'm fairly clean, so I think that helps get work.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate that. But I have some things coming up. I have three shows here in Long Branch. A
Okay.
local business is trying to bolster up some
Right.
things. So I have three shows coming up with three pretty good headliners, and I get to host. And I
Yeah,
have
I saw the things on Facebook, I believe.
21A in Long Branch. It's a high end.
I will when this airs, I'll put the links because by then you'll be
Right.
having a whole batch of new ones, and I'll put all the links to everything, the club or anything I can do to help out.
Right. I enjoy helping this person. I don't enjoy
Yeah.
producing shows for the record. If anybody's looking for me, I just like to come and do my minutes and go home. And I enjoy being God. I just want to be on the flyer. I don't even need to show up.
You're such a giver. You're
I
such
just
a giver.
I just
I
want to be on the flyer.
I'm getting misty. I guess we ought to cut this thing a little short. We're not keeping you, are we? Let's cut
Very
this.
funny. But anyway,
No,
it's my,
I'm feeling some kind of way all of a sudden. I just really, Scott, is there anything else you wanted to ask me? I got dinner on the stove.
No, no, I'm enjoying this. I have all afternoon. I have to
You
go
have a
do a.
crock pot. You got a crock pot going.
You know what's so funny? I don't have a crock pot. All these years, no one's
No,
ever
I
given me a
don't
crock.
either.
My Leo
But
friend,
yeah,
you're.
I don't want to keep you if you want to get going.
I'm fine. I'm fine.
Okay, well, let's move on then if we can.
Yeah.
Sabrina Ayub. I want to thank Sabrina because Sabrina, she's actually going to premiere now people for time travelers this evening. But
Right.
Sabrina was on and she said, because it's not a secret, and you're welcome to help out with this. I
Sure.
love female comedians. I want to have I interact well with female comedians. I love having female comedians on the show.
Uh,
So, and again, my goal is if you have fun, hopefully you'll tell. And so right after we finished, she said, I had a lot of fun. You need to get Donna Lloyd on. And so that's how this came about. And I want to pay thanks to Sabrina, but I got to go back one step to Joe Scrocca, who
uh-huh.
Joe got me in touch with Sabrina. And so it's just I love the
The network.
well, and I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not, I haven't made a penny. I'm not trying. And I
Right.
got my car in the garage. I took it there yesterday, and the guy says, "You making any money?" I said, sometimes, but it's not just about the money. I'm bringing joy to people's lives. I'm trying to make people laugh. Other than that, I really don't care.
Perhaps some sponsors. You'll have to talk to me after the show.
Nah, hey, come on. We'll just keep this little dog and pony act going the way we got it. I
All
got
right.
shirts. I got hats. Buy a shirt and a hat. That'll make me happy.
Okay.
Saturday's my birthday. Come on.
Happy
Be
birthday to
happy.
you.
Come on. At my age, I'm not over the hill, but I got a clear view of the top.
I'm 2 weeks away from you. I'm September 2nd.
Okay, well, I guess that gives me plenty of shopping days to get out there and get you something. I won't spend as much as I did last year, I promise. So the marijuana dispensary, we kind of jumped off that. You
Hmm?
just saw the guys in line and then left.
No, no, I ordered whatever they were getting.
Oh, okay, okay. It's funny because watching the stuff from 5 years ago to then watching, and I want to pay credit to you because you can tell that you've been doing it a long time and you're a pro.
Aw.
The Staten Island comedy thing that's on YouTube, and you get apparently because I don't know anything about it,
Mhm,
but you get 5 minutes,
mhm.
and the guy starts giving you a hard time about the way you say your R's or something,
The drummer. He's a
and under
drummer.
your breath, or kind of like you're like, I hope this doesn't cut into my 5 minutes. I thought that was. I got to tell you, Don. I said, man, I love this woman. I love this woman. You weren't
Thank
taking any shit. You were like, hey, bud, shut up. You're
thank you.
interrupting my time. I thought
Thank
it
you.
was great.
That tape actually got picked. A friend of mine made me send it into Ladies of Laughter, and they actually picked me according to that tape. There's a new Staten Island one out now
Is
with a
there?
different set. Yeah, I haven't put it up on my YouTube. That's the
Well,
problem.
then
It's
it
I'm
would be
not
kind of
very
hard for me to watch it if it's not up, isn't it?
well. It's up on the Staten Island comedy show.
Oh, okay. All
It's
right.
not mine. I don't
Okay.
manage my own social
Those
media.
weasels. I'm gonna contact those. You know what? I'm not putting their damn link up. The hell with them. I'm not putting that link up on my little dog and pony act. Your comedy minute has standards. I want you to know.
Thank you.
No, no, I'm teasing. When it comes up, I'm sure you'll put it up. And I'm sure
Oh,
it's even better than the last one.
thank you. Thank you so
Well,
much.
look, is there anything else you want to do? Another little bit or two, or is there anything you want to do? I mean, it's your comedy minute. It's
It's my comedy minute.
not yet, not yet. I mean, or unless
Oh.
oh, I forgot you got stuff on the stove. We can just do it. Let's move it along. We'll just get you the hell out of here and get you cooking.
No, I'm good. I can talk about
Talk
any
about
no
whatever you want to talk about.
any number of topics. Okay.
Pick one.
Uh,
Well, in other words, I don't do political stuff, but
no.
I did like your rant, but I will say this, it's wild. I don't know if you realize this, but your videos from 5 years ago, you mentioned Pete Buttigieg and Kamala Harris.
Yes.
I thought that
That
was wild.
that's an old take on, yeah, on some words. I still do
Yeah, I
the
love your words bit too. Your words bit is fantastic.
thank you. I really appreciate that. I do.
That's
Uh,
well thought out. That's a great. If you guys get a chance, watch her words video on YouTube. It's wonderful.
Thank you. There'll be an updated version on off of the Staten Island one. So thank you so much for
No,
saying.
that's great stuff, Donna.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, Scott.
You
It's
can do
so
a
been
little bit if you want.
well. I'll tell you about this. Listen, a
Okay,
lot of
tell
people
me
don't,
about anything.
a lot of people don't realize this, but it is tough being a comedian. And Scott, I think one of the hardest things about being a comedian is constantly having to spell the word comedian. I mean, do I add the NNE because I'm a woman, or do I leave
Yeah,
it off because we're all equal? You know? And listen, you have to get the correct pronunciation of self deprecating down, because if you tell people you're a self defecating comedian, you don't get a lot of work, right?
right.
And listen, most comedians I know are either drunk and lonely or high and horny. I'm kind of somewhere in between. No, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say that. Some are in recovery and really depressed.
I think
And
you're describing me to a T.
and listen, we have to be so careful about the words we say, right? We have to be
Yeah,
careful how we say them, who says them, and so forth.
right.
And a lot of people don't realize, like sometimes I write a word down on a piece of paper and I don't know what it's supposed to say later. Like, was that read or read? Was it bow or bow? Was it live or live? Was it wind or wind or wound or wound? I can't figure it out. And
Yeah,
did you also realize, Scott, there are three different words for the word for, and there's three words for the word two, and there's two words for the word one, but only one word for the word three. So doesn't that make three the loneliest number since the
yeah,
number one?
yeah.
And shouldn't Three Dog Night have known that? Right? So,
It's the
listen,
loneliest
there's a fine
number.
line between vanity and insecurity, and I'm walking a tightrope. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that I'm better than anybody, but nobody's better than me. And my
Right.
name is Donna Lloyd, and it's Donna Lloyd Comedy. And you can check me out on IG, YouTube, Facebook, and I think I'm on TikTok. Someone made
Well,
it.
and
Aunt,
you
Aunt,
have a bit. You Google it.
Aunt Donna knows that's me.
Google it.
I
Google it.
can Google.
You have a bit
Right.
about that. Google it. Just Google
Oh,
it.
can Google right. The only thing I Google are like my ailments, and it leads
Yeah.
me to those symptom checkers. But after a period of time and some careful research, I was able to figure out what was wrong with me. Turned out I had the symptoms of a symptom checker. Scott, I can't win. I don't know what to do.
I tell you, it's rough. My wife. Well, look, we're gonna run out of time. So no, 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 you're not getting off
Oh,
that easy.
I'm not leaving yet.
What is
All right.
it? What is it? What is it? It's time.
Listen, I'll tell
Hold
you.
on,
Like,
let me do a formal introduction. And don't
okay,
look, I always tell people this. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story, okay? So just whatever. Donna Lloyd, your comedy minute. Go ahead.
of a true story. True story. I went one time to downtown Trenton on a business trip, and I was out of marijuana. I was looking for marijuana,
Okay.
and I was looking for someplace good enough to ask, and cool, good enough to trust.
Yeah.
And I pulled over to this business that was on the side of the road. It was a van, and he had all kinds of incense and Bob Marley shirts and
Right.
all kinds of beads and shit. So I
Yeah.
thought that he was cool enough to ask. And so I said, "Well, what else you got? You got some herb? You got something else?" And he's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." So the kid next to him that was hanging around with a radio, he said, he goes, "I can go get you some herb." He goes, "Give me your money, wait here, and I'll be back." And I'm
Oh
like,
no.
wait a minute. I don't know if I can trust you." And so the guy with the van and the business, he's like, "Look at this. Goddamn white girl coming to goddamn downtown Trenton saying she can't trust us. She come into a legitimate man's business. And so he like reamed me up and down. This man, it was so embarrassing.
Right.
So I gave the guy my money and waited, and he came back with the weed. So just
Ah,
because I tell you, people in New Jersey are very easy and we're easy going. Scott, I don't know why I pulled that story out, but you got it.
no. I listen, I have stories where the guy didn't come back. I can relate to every bit of that story. Gave him my money, never came back. And just I've got to stop the recording. I thank you. But I've been to Trenton, PST in Trenton. I used to go to the I used to work for RCA. Been there. Love it.
Is the recording stopped now?
What's that? No, not yet. Well, I mean, I can edit it. Don't worry about it. But yeah,
Uh,
listen, let me just, I will stop the recording in a second.
yeah.
Donna, thank you so much for being here. I hope you had a good time. Let me stop the recording. And
Okay.
again, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I had a wonderful
Thank
time.
you. Your show is wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you. Hold on a second.